Namaskar. How can you repay a guru who has changed your life? By living the knowledge. This Guru Purnima, we are offering a 50% off on Jayaji's Bhagavad Gita commentaries, books, online courses, and pen drives. The offer starts on 17 July. Get knowledge worth 9,000 rupees and pay only 4,500. Make Gita a part of your daily life with this limited time offer. For a truly heartfelt tribute, why not give this priceless knowledge to your loved ones? Visit vedantavision.org to see all our offerings. To experience this wisdom live and in person, join Jayaji's special talks on happiness in Mumbai, Delhi, Kolkata, and Bangalore. The details of these four events are in the description box. And now, I invite Jayaji to continue with Bhagavad Gita chapter 8.
ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः
Any questions? Your question is that you have been thinking a certain way in the past and now you know it's not the right thing to think, right? It's not the right way to go and you want to change it. You find it difficult or you're saying it's not possible. So what's the way out?
So why do we hold on to them?
Why do we hold on to it? Because you got attached to it. You have been thinking in a particular way and you have thought it was right, and so you have found no reason to change.
Like example, I think that I am not good enough.
All right. Example she is given is she thinks she is not good enough. Okay, good enough generally or good enough at any particular thing? Generally. Okay. Right. So this obviously you've been thinking for many years. And perhaps it has been reinforced by externals, you know. Sometimes what happens is you fail in an exam or failed relationship or I don't know, whatever it is. And then you believe that that is the truth. Now to get out of it, you have to first understand, use your intellect and understand that it's not true. Right? It's not true that you're not good enough. And even if you're not good enough right now, things can change. You can be better than good enough. And maybe what you're thinking also is not correct. So you have to use your intellect. You have to shift your thinking from a negative mindset to positive. And that is the most important. As long as you're thinking, you're weighed down with a negative mindset, it's very difficult to change. So you have to put in that effort to change. And that is through actually the exposure to the Bhagavad Gita that you've got. You've been coming for many years. That should have done it. Because what you learn from Vedanta is that you are what your thoughts are. And you're free to think whichever way. Now, so far you've been thinking negatively. This moment you have the choice of thinking positively or going along with the past. Now, if you go along with the past, then you're only adding to your negative thinking, your negative self-esteem or whatever it is. But you can change. And as you change your thinking, your actions follow, your body follows, your environment follows, you find yourself in a positive environment, and then you're totally a different person.
That happens, but it is not consistent.
It will be. See, you must understand, you have been thinking negatively for so many years. Now it can't suddenly change. It takes time. Yes, you will have the dips. When you're not alert enough, you will think negatively. But you must understand that you cannot remain like this, you'll just go downhill. You have to change. And that change will not happen. See, the change in your thinking will not immediately manifest in your body, in your language, in the speech, your actions, immediately. It takes time.
So how long?
You can't say. You can't say, and you don't need to think how long. All you have to understand is, as long as my thinking changes to the positive, it will happen. When it will happen is a matter of detail. How does that matter? Whether it happens tomorrow or next year, it doesn't matter. You're on the right track is what matters. And you have to keep endorsing that positivity. The problem is that we are so consumed with negative thinking, and we are so consumed with the wrong values that you can't find a way out. I'll tell you a story. A 13-year-old boy, and this happens here quite often. People play cricket, the ball goes and hits somebody's window, the window smashes. Okay? So a 13-year-old boy was playing football, and the football by mistake went and hit a window, his neighbor's window, and the glass smashed. So his parents were very embarrassed, and they went, apologized to the neighbor and said, we will take care of the repairs and this, that and the other. They tried to pacify him. The neighbor was unperturbed. You know what he said to them, the parents? He called them inside, gave them a cup of coffee, and he told them something that all of us need to remember. And this comes with positive thinking, the right values. What he said was that a broken glass can be repaired. An object can be replaced. But a relationship is priceless. A good relationship is priceless. So let not a broken window break a precious relationship. So as long as that is clear in your mind, we all have a chance. But if you say, oh, my glass is broken, what will I do? And then you get angry with the child, you get angry with the parents, you're on a negative spiral. As long as you think positively, you're going upward. So what a beautiful thing he said. That we all have a chance to choose between being right or being at peace. And because our forefathers have been consistently choosing peace over ego, we are a peaceful nation even today. Right? So, sometimes it takes giving a little, forgiving a little, letting go of ego to preserve a relationship. Because if you let go of that relationship, you're never going to get it back. So, that is something you must always remember. And these are little positives. This is just one story. You have to tell yourself the story. And it is on the spot. See, the values that you cultivate come out immediately, on the spur of the moment, when things happen. Like, There's a little girl who wanted to listen to music or something. So when she went for a shower, she took her mother's iPhone and went. When the mother had told her, don't take it because it might fall in the water. And sure enough, it fell. It fell and she screamed. And the grandmother came, picked it up and did whatever was needed to dry it. And the child, after all that happened, went to the grandmother and said, you didn't get upset, you didn't shout at me because you had told me not to take the phone inside and I didn't listen to you and it happened. So the grandmother immediately said, the phone can always be replaced. I can buy another phone. But my granddaughter I can't replace. You know? The relationship is more precious than the phone. Now her reaction, the grandmother's reaction, that child will remember all her life. So these are the things that we must cultivate, you know. Positive attitude in life, the right values in life, and we must always be grateful in life for all that we've received. I don't know how many of you were early enough to listen to this bhajan that was played, Mirabai's bhajan, which says, Maro pranam, meaning I offer my pranams to the whole universe for all that I've received. And I was thinking, we are lucky enough to have received this precious knowledge. At least we must be grateful for it, right? And when we are grateful for it, we do our bit. You can't, see, gratitude doesn't remain with the feeling, it converts into action, it transforms into action. Isn't it? If you're grateful to your parents, it transforms into acts of gratitude towards your parents. You don't just sit there. Similarly, now with Guru Purnima around the corner, July 29th is the actual Guru Purnima. We are celebrating it on Saturday, 25th July in Mumbai at Bharati Vidya Bhavan. On 2nd August in Delhi at Kamani Auditorium. 9th August in Kolkata at GD Birla Sabhagar. And 16th August in Bangalore at the Nimhans Auditorium. All of us need to use this opportunity to express our gratitude to this infinite knowledge that we have received, and this infinite knowledge has arisen out of infinite love for us. See, our forefathers could have said, I've reached there, why do I need to give knowledge? Huh? I've reached realization. Hell with these people. They can do what they want. No, but they have painstakingly maintained this Guru Shishya Parampara for thousands of years. Don't you think that's a miracle? Those of you who have tried to establish values and transmit them from one generation to the next, to your own children, you know how difficult it is. Huh? On my way here, somebody was telling me how a father admitted, he says, I've just failed at passing on values to my own daughter. She's headstrong, she wants her way all the time, whatever. Now, between father and daughter in one generation, if it's so difficult, what do you think of people who have maintained this through centuries? Don't you think you should be grateful for it? So, do your bit, and that is so little. Do your bit means what? You will receive the invitation card. You'll receive a series of messages on WhatsApp. All you have to do is forward them to your friends. Talk to people and say, because the subject is the most sought after subject in the world today, and that is happiness, because everyone is seeking happiness. Nobody has achieved it. Right? So, it's an opportunity for you to do something good, to step out of your little world and do something meaningful. Right? All great men and women have achieved what they have achieved because they have stepped out of their comfort zone. Instead of scrolling forward, instead of just sitting and I don't know what you do, think, how best can I use my abilities to introduce this very important subject to as many people as possible. And please, it is not that I want the auditorium full, it doesn't matter. But what I'm more concerned about is that you are getting an opportunity to be happy. Because you can only be happy when you step out of your comfort zone. So please do it, because that is linked to your question. If you want to break free from a negative mindset, this is what you have to do. And all of us are stuck with negative mindsets. You agree? I am not good enough. This city is horrible. This country is bad. I don't know. And because we have already established, we've got kind of anchored in this negative mindset, negativity sells. Which is why the media are focused on negativity. Do you know social media? If you post a negative post, chances are not chances, 100% it will get more likes, more followers, more whatever, than if you send out a positive post. They know that. And they are making money on our foolishness. So, do yourself a favor. Cultivate positivity. That's what it's all about. So, any other question? Last time we said, we looked at what? You're all looking at me as if, sorry? Sincerity of action. HOV, lane to excellence. What is HOV? High occupancy vehicle. So last time we looked at action. This time we're going to take a look at purity of heart. Okay? This purity of heart means you're free from malice. Even when circumstances push you into thinking negatively about a person or about a thing, you refuse to think negatively. That is being free from malice. Anasuyaha. It's a fabulous quality that is emphasized in the Bhagavad Gita. It is a soft power. It's not the power of wealth and political dominion or economic bullying or any of this. But it's a power. It's soft maybe, but it's powerful. And therefore in our culture, ahimsa is emphasized. Now what is ahimsa? Ahimsa is, do you refuse to be hurtful in action, in word, in thought towards anybody. It has nothing to do with action. It has been horribly misunderstood, and therefore we become a passive population, country. It's not about passivity. It's about what you think within your mind. Action depends on the other person's action. No? Like Christ said, hate the sin, not the sinner. So when you hate the sin, you have to take action against the sin, not the sinner. So in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna told Arjuna, don't hate them, the Kauravas. Kill them, but with love. Don't go around killing, please. What it means is, take whatever action the situation demands, but never engender feelings of hatred towards anybody. So then, you see, a person with purity of heart gets taken care of by the totality. You should see people. There are very few people who have this purity of heart. But it is so attractive. It attracts everybody, the quality, I mean. And the person who has it may have 100 faults, but everybody overlooks that and focuses on this purity because it is so attractive. So, emotion is a powerful motivator. At the same time in history, there was Gandhiji who used positive emotion with great effect. Brought the British Empire to its knees. And there was a Hitler, same time, who used negative emotion, hatred. And we all know what the result was. Hateful thoughts. No one else may know, but you know. And it sure as hell kills you. It's like slow poison. If you're ingesting poison bit by bit, you don't know what's happening to you, but ultimately it kills you. Whereas, on the other hand, positive emotions, love, liberates you. Every time you think well of another person, you appreciate another person, you send loving thoughts towards a person. It strengthens you, it empowers you, it makes you happy. See, this doesn't need explanation. You should observe what is happening within you. There's a gentleman, a hard-headed businessman. So he picks up the phone, and I don't know who he's talking to. But from his expression, I know it is his child. His expression only softens. Then his wife calls, and I know that's the wife. Because the same feeling is not there. Then his secretary calls, and it's a totally different thing. So what it is about is Vedanta changes your emotion. Many people think Vedanta is only about thinking. It's hard-headed. And people become completely dry of emotion when they learn Vedanta. It's not true. It changes your emotion from selfish to unselfish. As long as you are selfish, you lose the power. You become weak, dependent, disgusting. Changes your emotion from a weakness to a strength, and from a liability to an asset. See, in the movie The Legend of Bhagavans, there is this golfer who gave up golf. That was his life's mission. Because he met with a negative experience. And there was this girl, Adele, who used the same emotion. She was completely devoted to her father. And her father had passed away. So everything she did was for her father. And she achieved a miracle. You know, in the 1930s, when America went through a depression, she also could have gone into bankruptcy. But she got creative and she said, you know, I don't want to tell you the rest of it, but she converted a liability, a negative situation into something positive. And that is what happens when you have love. You overcome all odds. So, a person might say, I'm not a morning person. But for his son, he'll wake up at 4 a.m. if he has to. See, I see a gentleman laughing here because his son has just come. You become successful. You build teams of loyal people, of positive people. You live a life of planning instead of a reckless life. You're happy. And with this happy, positive attitude, you win over negative people. Like in that movie Lagan, you remember? Came many years ago. But there was that one traitor, if you remember. Even that guy he won over. Because he understood. See, love is about understanding. You understand the weakness of another person. And then that gives you strength. And the most important thing is your desires drop. The strength that you get from love is like this, in the story, in the Old Testament, Moses goes out in the wilderness. He sees a snake. There's a voice in the wilderness that says, Moses, hold it. And he's scared. It's a snake. Who wants to hold a snake? And the voice again repeats, hold it. And third time, hold it, Moses. He held it. And that snake became the famous staff of Moses with which he performed miracles. Now, this is a story. Now, don't go around holding snakes, please. What is that snake? Ego. Your desires, your ego, everything that is negative in you. All you have to do is catch it. And who knows better than you what your weaknesses are? See, there are 3 categories of living beings: plant, animal, human. Plant, for all practical purposes, we assume have no feelings. Animals have tremendous emotions. Dolphins have, dogs have, a cow has tremendous emotion. So many animals have emotion. But they act on that emotion and they are affected by the emotion. The human being is the only species that is designed to have far greater, far subtler emotion than any animal, but has the capacity to act on intellectual guidance, not on the emotion, and is designed not to get affected by emotion. But we rarely use that ability. So, like Oliver Goldsmith said in The Village Preacher, he talks about a village preacher, a preacher who goes as a priest in a church in a village. And Oliver Goldsmith talks about that preacher's relationship with the simple folk, village folk. He said, to them, his heart, his love, his griefs were given. But all his serious thought had rest in heaven. And he compares him to a hill, a mountain, as some tall cliff that lifts its awful form, swells from the vale and midway leaves the storm. Though round its breast the rolling clouds are spread, eternal sunshine settles on its head. This is what it is. You know, have you seen sometimes now the monsoon, when you go to Lonavala, you might see a hill and the clouds are around the heart of that, you know, somewhere here. And above that, it's clear. So he equates the heart with your emotions, the heart level, and the head with your intellect. The intellect must always be in communion with Atman, the sun above, with the higher. And the heart must be given to the people around you. Then you live the life of a human being. Eternal sunshine settles on his head. What a beautiful way of conveying this very subtle philosophy. So what the problem with us is, we are attached. You see, either we have no feelings at all. So there are people who get by, say, I don't care for anyone. So they get by. But that is not what, you are a human being because you have feelings, right? And you're missing out on all the good things of life. And in business, see, we don't understand, even at work, the power that emotions have. You connect with people, you feel for people, you express your feelings. You don't even have to express your feelings, just have feelings. And they return the courtesy 100 times over. So, and your work gets done effortlessly. But attachment is, when love is polluted with selfishness, it is attachment. Love is there, but the selfishness spoils it all. So what do we mean by selfishness? See, when you are not self-sufficient, means you don't have the capacity to be by yourself. You need to then hang on to people, lean on people, like a creeper. Creeper doesn't have the capacity to live by itself. It has to wind itself around a tree. So most of us are like that. We're not self-sufficient. So we have to catch hold of someone and wind ourselves around that person. Whoever that person is, husband, wife, children, so on and so forth. So when you feel the need to get married, that is attachment. So the starting point itself is wrong. You know why? Because that person's life is not, he is not born only to support you. And when you lean on someone, see, physically if you lean on someone all the time, somebody leans on you all the time, what do you feel like saying? Get off my back. Even a person you love. See, that's the beauty of it. You feel like saying, just leave me alone. That is what happens emotionally. When somebody is dependent on you, is constantly after you, always sending you messages, always calling. And you know, it passes off as love because both are like that. Husband is also like that, wife is also like that, so it's okay. It goes on for a while until one becomes detached. Or the conflict starts because your expectations are dissimilar. You expect something of the other person. That person is not willing to give you what you want. And that person expects something of you which you are not willing to give. So when there is a disconnect, then there is conflict. Frustration first, disappointment, and conflict. You didn't do this for me. My best friend's husband takes her for a holiday, one holiday in India and one vacation outside India. And you haven't taken me for a vacation anywhere in 2 years. Conflict. Or there's a wife recently who fought with her husband, you are not earning enough money. Arey, that is his capacity. So it only means that you made a mistake, right? You should have found Mr. Moneybags. You made a mistake, wrong assessment. Now you can't blame that guy. Either you remain in the marriage and you earn the money that you want, or you opt out. See, things like this happen. And Swami Ramatirtha said this in so many words, absolute clarity, at a lecture that he gave in America in 1902. Beware of attachment. Because two things happen with attachment. Number one, there will always be conflict. So you have conflict with the people you love most, right? Why? Because of this. Not because of love, but because of attachment, the expectations, the demands that you make on the person. And it's all about me. It has nothing to do with the other person. And number two, that relationship will break. Watch out for it. So that explains now, more than 100 years later, why are partnerships breaking up? Why are divorces going up? Not because of love, because of attachment. Means selfishness. So what must we do? Not stop the love, not walk away from the relationship. What must you do? Continue the love, drop the expectations, drop the demands. How can you drop the expectations and demands when you are not self-sufficient? See, something goes wrong with your leg, you need a crutch, right? How can you do without a crutch? So it comes back to become more self-sufficient, which means study the Bhagavad Gita. You don't laugh. It's not as if I have nothing better to do than to recommend the Bhagavad Gita. It is the truth. Find it any way you like. Follow something else. But you have to do this if you want that relationship to continue. If you value a relationship, stop it. Stop what? Expectation. Stop demand. Then what must you do? You just love the person for what he or she is. This is called unconditional love. So what happens between love and attachment? Where there is love, it endears you to people. Attachment repulses. Even the people you are attached to, the people that you say you love, they get repulsed. Love creates harmony. Attachment, conflict. Wherever there is love, you evolve. Where there is attachment, you devolve. You must look around and see what is happening. There's a lady, a brilliant surgeon who went abroad in the 1950s, 1951, 52. She went to England, did her FRCS, came back, established a good practice for herself, but everything was okay with her except for attachment. She got horribly attached to her children, ruined their lives, ruined her life. The entire family went down the tube because of one word, attachment. Where there is love, you focus on strengths, you focus on the good points in the other person. Where there is attachment, your judgment gets completely clouded. Where there is love, you gain. Attachment, you lose. Swami Ramatirtha's famous statements. Attach, you lose. Detach, you gain. Detach means pure love. Where there is love, you bring out the best in you and in others. Attachment brings out the worst in you, which is conflict. When there is or fight, the words you use, the things you say, it's all your worst coming out. And after it's all over, you wonder, why did I say all this? Why did I do this? Where there is love, you're happy. Attachment breeds sorrow. Where there's love, you build teams. Attachment disrupts teams. So, how do you develop this love? When you identify with your body, you see maximum separateness. You can't even see oneness with your own child. Right? Like you're hungry. If your child eats, your hunger cannot be appeased. But identify with your mind. What relief there is. What freedom there is. You feel one with the family. Any member of the family does well. You celebrate as if the achievement was yours. Isn't that true? Feel one with the intellect. I mean, identify with the intellect. You feel one with all your countrymen. You know, once in the 80s, we had gone to South Africa for lectures. 1 month we were in South Africa. And although there were Indians there, they were not like Indians in India. They were South African Indians who had gone there, who were taken there by the British as labor 200 years ago. So they were different. And then I remember very clearly on the way back, because there were no diplomatic relations between the two countries then, we had to come via Mauritius. And at Mauritius airport, I saw in the distance a Gujarati lady. I know Gujarati because she had worn the sari the Gujarati way. Now that is a common sight here. It doesn't excite you. But that day, I remember, I was so excited. I wanted to go and hug that lady because she was Indian, you know. That's what happens when you identify with the intellect. Any Indian you see anywhere in the world, you get attracted. Identify with Atman. There is no separateness. If you feel one with the whole world. So, what Swami Ramatirtha said is, if you see separateness, it's got to be your delusion. Because there is only one. So, you see, when you develop the ability to celebrate an opponent's victory, then you never experience failure in life. How nice that is. Someone in the world is winning, right? You take this World Cup that's going on. If you feel one with all the teams, then you never experience failure. But you're always taking sides. I am a follower of this country. Then you go through heartache. So, the next thing is manifestation of this love. See, you must understand, very few people in the world have genuine love. This you must understand. Why? Because when you're dealing with people, don't expect them to have love. So you must understand everybody is selfish. Therefore, be careful how you manifest your love. Very few people in the world have love. Much fewer people have the capacity to receive that love. So, a person has a teacup and you pour a tank full of water into that. What happens? Devastation. Same thing happens with love. Person has very little capacity to receive love and you smother the person with love, it suffocates the person. So it doesn't have the right effect. So you should be very careful in how you express that love. And only when the person has the capacity to receive it, then very little expression is required. Have you noticed that? Just a glance. is enough to establish that oneness between the two. Have you experienced that? You're looking at me like I'm still. It's somebody you must feel it, no, with your own child, your partner, a friend. If you haven't, make an effort. So, we now move to verse 11.
यदक्षरं वेदविदो वदन्ति विशन्ति यद्यतयो वीतरागाः यदिच्छन्तो ब्रह्मचर्यं चरन्ति तत्ते पदं सङ्ग्रहेण प्रवक्ष्ये.
Many years ago, before we move on to the 11th verse, there was a doctor in the faraway suburbs, and he and his wife were married for something like 27 years, I think. And then he developed a relationship with another lady. So the wife came to know, and every time she knew that he was going to meet the other lady, she would say, "Oh, wear this shirt, you look better in it. Don't forget you must smell good when you go out." She knew he was going to meet the other lady, but she made it so much simpler for him, because her attitude was, and I know because she told me, she said, "I married him because I thought he would be happy with me. Now obviously he's happier with someone else. I'm happy for him." What an attitude to have. And you might say, "It's acting like a doormat." No, that's power. You know what happened? Do you know what happened? He never went. Because every time she said, "Wear this shirt, you look better," or "Wear these shoes, you look better," or whatever it is, he felt so guilty that eventually he stopped. Now, this is not a general formula for everyone, please. I'm only saying one instance where pure love won. She won. So anyway, what I'm trying to say is, don't take the story beyond its scope. The point is, wherever there is pure love, you win. You win over the person. Okay, 11. I will briefly tell you that goal which the knowers of the Vedas call the imperishable, into which ascetics free of passion enter, to obtain which they practice brahmacharya, self-control. It's a beautiful verse. If you get the feel of it, just the feel, it's so powerful. So he's talking about the spiritual journey. First of all, you have to fix, I will briefly tell you that goal. The goal of realization is something that you must entertain, you must at least think of. You must at least get yourself familiarized with that goal. Otherwise, it's like a faraway thing. Which the knowers of the Vedas call the imperishable. What a statement. Krishna is realized, right? He is a knower of the Vedas. Who is a knower of the Vedas? A realized person. Krishna himself is realized. He doesn't say, "I am telling you." He says, knowers of the Vedas call Akshara imperishable, into which ascetics free from passion enter. So this free from passion means The mind must be free from desire for worldly things. If you have desires for too many things, you're weighed down. You can't take off into subtler realms. Huh? Well, because you're looking around. I like your watch. Where did you get it? Oh, your glasses are very nice. Where did you get it? Your jewelry, nice. That's all that you look at. You don't even see human beings. You only see objects. It's impossible. You must be free from passion for the world. Then, so the body must not be, the body will automatically want. It's the mind that must be free. Detached. The body must be controlled. How? Brahmacharya. Brahmacharya is not celibacy, as people believe it to be. Brahmacharya means to live and move in the path to Brahman. That is your only mission in life. Whatever you do or don't do is dictated by this. Will it take me closer to Brahman? Then I will do it, however difficult it may be. If it does not take me, or if it takes me away from Brahman, I will not do it, however attractive it may seem. What power it gives you. So that's what it is. And if you, so it all begins with this thing in your mind, value that you place on things. Like the story I told you of this, the neighbor of this 13-year-old boy. Broken glass can be repaired. Objects can be acquired. But a relationship is priceless. Hang on to it. If you happen to have a good relationship. And compared to that, the lower, if it goes, it's okay. And brahmacharya is very important. You know, we get pulled away. And unless you have sense control, you can't even achieve material success, leave alone anything else. Like last time we saw, you go to any part of America, Europe, anywhere, on weekdays, Monday to Thursday, by 9 p.m., the whole place is shut. No restaurant is open, nothing. Why? Because people just go home, have dinner, go to sleep early. Because they have to wake up early and get to work. Now here, if you're partying till 4 a.m., what work are you going to do the next day? Huh? You want to know what happens? Go to Marine Drive at midnight and see what's happening there on a weekday. What happens in the suburbs, I don't know. It's supposed to be worse, correct. Because the younger people are there. Anyway, this is it. So what must you do for the spiritual journey? Fix your goal. If it's not realization, bring it down to something that you can identify with. Then you must be free from passion, means mumukshatva. You must have that desire to liberate yourself from the passions of the world. Because you understand they have no value. They go. And then, once you have no value for them, automatically you will practice brahmacharya, which is sense control.
पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ॐ
बुद्धिः